My name is Marissa DeGrazio, and I can stand up here confident before you today because I know who I am and I know what I believe. But you know how many of us struggle to know what we believe, and how we struggle to know if believing is even a possible or credible action at all? Well, I want to show you today that believing is not only something that you do every day, but when you have solid reasons for what you believe, it leads to powerful living that can and will affect everyone around you if you stand up for those beliefs. Your firmly established beliefs will make a difference not only in your life, but for this world. So I am first going to demonstrate that believing is a natural action that we all must come to terms with. And then I will outline the major characteristics of any credible belief. And finally, we will discuss how living for your beliefs does make a difference in this world. So, let's begin understanding what belief is. What is it? Well, according to Noah Webster, to believe is to have a firm persuasion of anything. Now, unfortunately, belief has received a negative connotation in today's society, often because it's associated with blind faith of religion. But under credible guidelines, which we will discuss later, believing is actually a natural, unhealthy part of our existence. Let me give you an example. When I went to bed last night, I believed that I was going to wake up this morning, and thankfully, I did. As a result, I got a healthy night's sleep. Also, consider this example. Gravity. Now, we look at the elephant, and we know that because the elephant jumped up in the air, it's going to fall back down. Now, we cannot see gravity. We don't even know where gravity comes from. Yet, we do believe in gravity. So, how can our beliefs not be blind faith, but be credible? And I want to discuss that credible beliefs must be based on some type of rationale. And there are three basic types of rationale. The first being observational data. Now, we've seen in our speeches, Alex gave us great examples of statistics that related to his belief of why you shouldn't smoke. So, historical documents are another example of observable data. Also, our credible beliefs should be based on some type of reasoning or logical proof. Going back to gravity, we know that the elephant is going to fall back to the ground because we see the effects of gravity. We know that everything that goes up in the air will come back down because we see it every day. And because we see its effects, we believe it to be true. Also, credible beliefs have some type of personal testimony. Now, this means that you need to have some type of personal relationship with your belief. It should be born from within and not told to you by society or by your parents, by your professors, by the media. It needs to be something that you personally know to be true because you have searched it out. Now, when your beliefs are credibly based and not merely blind faith, you begin to stand firm for what you believe and to live on purpose. Your beliefs actually activate your life. And I want to show you an example of a man who actually changed an entire nation because of what he did with his beliefs. This man's name is William Wilberforce. And William Wilberforce was born in 1759 in Great Britain. And he was elected to Parliament at the age of 21, mostly because he was an eloquent speaker. Probably had a lot of classes like ours. Now, in the years of 1784 to 1786, he had what people have called a conversion experience. And this was a time when he really began to question, what do I believe and why do I believe it? Well, through that experience, he came away with a new solid belief, and that was that slavery was wrong. So, in 1786, he began an anti-slavery campaign, and he revolutionized Parliament with the fight that he began for, against slavery. Now, after decades of standing up for his belief and trying to persuade Parliament, finally in 1807, the Slave Trade Act was passed, which completely outlawed the slave trade in all of Great Britain. And at that time, Great Britain was a lot larger of a nation than it is today. Now, that wasn't good enough for Wilberforce, though. He still continued to fight for his belief that slavery was wrong, because slavery was still allowed. This just outlawed the slave trade. Finally, decades later, just a few days before his death, Parliament passed the Slavery Abolition Act. By by one man's belief, because he took the time to know what he believed and stood up for that belief, he not only changed millions of people's lives, but he saved generations of slaves from the continued bondage of their slavery. So, let me ask you in summary, how will you rescue others from the slavery by your beliefs? Whether good or bad, your rationally established beliefs will make a difference in this world. It starts with you taking the time to know what you believe, like William Wilberforce did in his conversion years. We looked at the commonness and the healthiness of belief. We discussed the characteristics of a well-established belief, and hopefully proving that belief does not have to be just blind faith. And we finally demonstrated the effects that your beliefs can have in your life and in society. Now, in the beginning, I told you that I know what I believe and who I am, but this didn't come about overnight. It took years of searching and years of questioning what people told me, so that finally I could have a personal experience with my beliefs and know what I believe based on observable data, logical reasoning, and that personal testimony. So now I challenge you to know firmly what you believe, and then don't let your beliefs be silenced. Like Wilberforce, stand up for what you believe. If a belief is worth having, your belief is worth living for. Everybody believes something. What do you believe, and how will your beliefs affect the world?